girl just picked a mango. Jack found and released 2 big wolf dogs. They immediately ran over. Before the girl could recover, she was directly pounced by the vicious dogs. Shortly afterwards, the girl was hospitalized with bruises. The family immediately called the police, even though the girl's brother identified Jack as the perpetrator. But he still did not get sanctioned. The police even gave him a tip to go out and hide. Because the case is in charge of the new sheriff Sam, he does not care what background you have. As long as you dare to commit a crime, he will definitely punish you and then put you in the police station. But Jack laughed when he heard that. He didn't take Sam seriously and threatened to get rid of him. Jack immediately approached his boss, David. He was the biggest gang leader in the area. He had a lot of men under him. He ruled over every business in the area. Anyone who resisted would be beaten to death. David is the kingpin here. He would never allow someone like Sam to exist. So he plotted how to get rid of Sam. But before he could do it, his wife found out by accident that their daughter was with one of Sam's men. This made David feel ashamed. He decided to take care of his daughter's boyfriend first. This would also give Sam a head start. So he sends his wife to give the assassins he's tamed for years a mission. The woman arrives at a deserted beach and blows a signal. Suddenly several unidentified creatures come out from under the sand. They landed and shook the sand off their bodies. They turned out to be human. The men rushed to one place and drank from a bowl full of blood. They ran on the beach with great vigor. I don't know how many laps they ran before they all fell to their knees in front of the woman. They listened carefully to the mission she had brought. At night the beasts went into action. They were slashing at the police. The policeman did not have a chance to fight back. He had to run away but accidentally fell in the mud. He ended up dead. The next day Sheriff Sam arrived at the scene. He couldn't help but shed tears of sadness when he saw his best friend being killed. He vowed to catch the thugs. He deduced that David must have been the one to provoke him. Angry, Sam immediately drove to arrest him. This man's best friend had been killed by hoodlums. He immediately went to the gangster's lair to arrest him. The gangster saw it and was calm. He didn't give him a second thought.
इस कटारी कृष्णा का नाम तू जानता होगा, पर इसके बैकग्राउंड का तुझे पता नहीं.
That hit Sam's no-go area. He can't stand threats from others. His anger was ignited. He rushed up to David and slapped him in the face. This made everyone there freeze in fear. Sam dragged him towards the police station. At that moment, a small knife came at him. Sam knocked him down with a kick. Then he sidestepped the knife and slammed him into the head of another man. The 2 men were instantly knocked out of the way and made their way forward. At this point, the woman signals for her men to stop. Sam gave him a slap on the face, then a backhanded slap. Then the knee came up and beat David's men. Now no one would dare to stand in the way. Sam scorns them with his hand gestures. Then he took David away. But the next morning, David's wife came to the police station with her lawyer to post bail because there was not enough evidence. David was released from the police station on bail, but as a mafia boss, he was arrested in the police station. He was furious and decided to get rid of Sam immediately. At night, Sam was attacked. The men pounced on him like animals. Sam, who hadn't reacted, was beaten back repeatedly. Fortunately, his colleagues arrived in time. Only then did the killers stop and sneak away. Luckily, they caught one of the killers. After some massages with a stick, he finally said that David's wife had asked them to do it. But news of this immediately reached David's ears as well. To avoid being identified, he decided to silence him. And Sam also immediately went to arrest David's wife. But they were still a step too late. The beasts had already found David's wife first and killed her. That's when Sam arrived with his men. When the killers saw them, they fled. Sam followed closely behind them. He took out his weapon and aimed at the killers and fired. But he didn't realize that he had killed the passerby. Now Sam was dumbfounded. The colleague next to him rushed to take him away. David was happy to know about this. He immediately sent his men to start creating public opinion. There was such a big accident. The leader could not protect him. He had to suspend his job first. But Sam didn't stop investigating. He went to the crime scene, but he suddenly thought that he was aiming at the killer's leg that day and put the bullet on the ground. That couldn't have killed the passerby. Sam found the slug on the ground as he remembered it. He rushed to the police station and took out the ammunition collection records. Finally, he found the killer. The murderer was the police captain who had been following him. Sam asked him to hand over his gun. When the captain saw that he had been caught, he turned and ran away. Sam grabbed a glass ball and smashed it on the back of his head, then went up and stomped on his hand. Under Sam's pressure, the captain finally confessed, "I shot the passerby." He confessed that David was behind it. But just then David called and threatened Sam to let the captain go immediately. because he had sent a killer to surround his home. If he gave the order, he would be separated from his wife forever. But Sam suddenly laughed when he heard that. Man laughed so happily that his wife was surrounded by a group of strong men. But his smile made David, the enemy, wonder.
दिमाग तो ठिकाने पर है ना? या फिर तुझे किसी टीचर की कहावत याद आ गई?
Sam heard, but not worried at all. It turned out that his wife was a former special police officer. She was a champion in various combat sports. She also earned a black belt in Taekwondo. The average person is no match for his wife. David sent these guys to play with her. One of them tried to sneak up on her. Woman suddenly opened her eyes and kicked him in the face. Then she stomped back. Two strong men were instantly kicked more than 10 meters away. At that moment another man rushed over. The woman jumped up 2 meters in the air and then kicked the man out. After she landed, she put on her shoes and lifted her arms. She turned around 360 degrees and then hit him with her elbow. Then a kick hit the man and then a high leg to step on him. She took the opportunity to fix her messy hair. She sidesteps the knife and hits the strong man with her fists and kung fu. The man immediately falls to the ground and dies. The woman turns around coldly. She rolled and got up and stepped on his chest. The long, slender thigh stomps hard on the man's bones. At that moment the man swung his knife at the boy. The woman turns around and kicks out the crib to stop him. The child immediately flies 2 meters high and she catches him. She kicked her leg back and broke the table. The mother and son then sat arrogantly on a chair. At that moment, a group of men attacked them. The woman picked up the urine bucket next to her and hit it. Whoever she hit fell down. At that moment a man attacked her from behind. The boy saw it and pulled out a large steel needle and stabbed the man in the waist. The man screamed in pain and the woman knocked him down with the urine can. The rest of the little men were scared. They ran out the door and fled immediately. David panicked when he realized his men had been beaten away. He rushed to hide in the killer's base. The killers reassured David. If Sam came here, they would cut him to pieces with a knife. A short time later a small car drove into the sea. Sam, the god of war, was coming. Man gets out of the car with a shotgun in his hand. He aimed at the killer and fired. The killer lost his breath on the spot. At that moment the leader of the killer arrived. Sam had a bullet in his hand alone. He was so scared that he turned around and ran away. Sam jumped in the air and fired another shot. He died before he had time to draw his knife. In a short time, these men like beasts all became the dead. David saw the situation immediately run away. He came to the road. At that moment a truck passed by. David stopped it and got a quick ride away. Sam followed him to the middle of the road. David was frightened. He pulled the trigger straight away, but the gun was out of bullets. Now David was happy. He even waved goodbye to Sam, but he hadn't smiled for more than 3 seconds. The car hit a nail. The tire exploded instantly. The truck overturned and crushed David underneath it. When he woke up again, he was already in the same prison as Jack, who let the dog bite the girl. You can subscribe and leave a comment. See you next time.